pleasure of doing Dean's television show. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Dean Martin was notorious for never showing up for rehearsal. All right? So I rehearsed for 5 days for this medley that Dean and I were doing together. Okay? And he never showed up once. And so the last day, which was the day we filmed, his producer came on and he said, "Hey, Wayne," he said, "just lead him through it. He'll follow you." And I said, "Okay. Now, I have told you that I left Virginia because of bronchial asthma. Okay? So when you're doing a duet with someone, it's probably proper and correct that you look at them once in a while. I want you to pay particular attention to the fact that Dean might have looked at me twice. He was looking over here, over there, up there, and over there. And the reason for that, I figured out later, was because that's where the cue cards were. So remember that Dean was, it was challenging to sing with him. You'll see why. Okay. He never looked at me. About halfway through it, I realized what was going on. And I did something at the end of this medley that was a surprise to Dean, was a surprise to his director, and a surprise to his producer, which could account for the reason why I was not invited back right away to do another Dean Martin show. Now, I want you to pay particular attention to those things. Him looking at me, singing with an asthmatic, okay? And then the end of the medley. Now, you don't have to take the lights totally out, just dim them, because I want them to see the show.
So nice having you on the show. Well, thank you, Dean. I can't tell you what a great thrill it is to be here, especially without a hit record.
Well, let's borrow a couple from Mr. Jolson. He has some great ones.
Why not? Nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning. Nothing could be sweeter than my sweetie when I meet her in the morning. If I had a Latin's lamp for only a day,
I'd make a wish and here's what I'd say.
nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning. Is it true what they say about Dixie? Does the sun really shine all day long?
Do they laugh? Do they love? Like they say in every song.
They do, that's where I belong. Tootsie goodbye. Tootsie don't cry. And that choo-choo train is gonna take me forever. You know working town, I said it makes me.
Yes, me Tootsie and that. Do it over again.
What's wrong with me? I'm a man.
If you don't get a letter, then you know I can't write.
Tootsie don't cry. Tootsie goodbye. I'm on a bandit bound. There'll be no images hanging around. And so so the world know. Here I go. I'm a bandit bound. Swanee, hallelujah, hallelujah. My dear old Swanee. The folks up north, well, see me no more. When I get to the Swanee shore, don't ever showers may come your way. They bring the flowers.
Did you see the look of horror in his face? I mean, it was like, what the hell am I doing down here? He came down to the dressing room after the show, and he knocked on the door, and I opened it, and he said, hey, Daddy. He said, I want to thank you for doing the show. I said, it was a great pleasure, Dean. He said, I apologize for not being at the rehearsal. I said, which one? He said, I had a tough day. He said, I drove over here to the lot. I said, you drove? He said, well, I was in no condition to walk. He said, I got here, and there was this beggar standing there. The guy wanted money. I said, did you give him some money? He said, well, actually, I asked him a few questions first. I said, like what? He said, well, I said to him, what are you going to do with this money? I bet you're going to take this money and you're going to go buy booze with it, aren't you? And the guy said, no, I don't drink. And I said, I bet you're going to take this money, you're going to go buy dope with it, aren't you? And the guy said, oh, no, sir, I don't smoke either. He said, then the guy, I said to him, I bet you're going to take this money and you're going to go to Las Vegas and you're going to gamble. And the guy said, no, sir, I don't drink, smoke, or gamble. I said, did you give him money? He said, well, I said to him, I said, I want you to get in that cab over there and follow me home. I said, you took him home with you? He said, well, I had to show my wife, Jeannie, what somebody looked like who didn't drink, smoke, or gamble. These guys had a sense of humor, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm afraid that we have all gotten just a little too politically correct. Okay? We have kind of lost our sense of humor about life, which is sad, and these guys certainly had it, and they loved each other, and they respected each other, but they certainly had a sense of humor about it. And there was one other guy, ladies and gentlemen, was part of that Rat Pack. He was about 5'1", 90 pounds, soaking wet, okay? But he certainly had more talent than anybody I have ever known. And I brought along these tapes just to share with you tonight. And I hope that you don't mind that, because it brings back such wonderful memories for me. And,